You know, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And one of the greatest first impressions in the history of the world took place thousands of years ago. Jews come out of Egypt, and God puts them right by Har Sinai. And you can imagine, for the first time and the only time in history, the creator of humanity reveals himself to human beings. It was so big that it never happened again. And it was so difficult that while it was supposed to be for 10 commandments, the Jews couldn't survive it, and it only lasted for 2. Can you imagine how big that first statement is? If you were God's speechwriter, can you imagine how long they were up the night before trying to craft the right words when the Kodesh Baruch Hu reveals himself to Klal Yisrael? For the first time, that will for sure be spoken about again and again through history. And Hashem opens up and says, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am the Lord your God. It's me. I share that. Now, if you were writing God's speech, what would be the next line? This is it. This is your first time. This is maybe your only time of such clarity of verbs. I am Hashem, your God, that you would write, created the world, right? See the whole thing? The stand, that's me. Sky, it's me. Everything. In the future, you'll see the Grand Canyon, Yankee Stadium, your bodies. It's all, everything. It's all me. I'm the one. All of it. Don't ever forget it. Tell it to your kids. Everything in this world I created. What Kodesh Baruch Hu should have said is, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, Asher barasas ha'olam. I created the world. He doesn't do that. He says, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am the Lord your God. I share that. I took you out of Egypt. Why? I mean, that's one little piece, right? He didn't just take you out of Egypt. He created Egypt and the Egyptians and the desert in between and Israel. If he would have said, I did everything, you would sort of figure out the Egypt piece. Why does he go with Egypt? Why doesn't he go with the whole world? This is for eternity. So I want to tell you a story. A bunch of years ago, I took my kids up to the bone colony. When I grew up in a bone colony, for those that live or lived in America, you understand what a bone colony is. So I used to go growing up to a bungalow colony. And now my kids growing up, we take them every week, every few weeks up to visit my parents in a bungalow colony. So the kids get off out of the car, and they start running and playing. And there's jungle gyms for them and slides and swings. It's a lot of fun. One of the gyms, the jungle gyms that they have, one of the monkey bars is like a interesting type monkey bar where it's a monkey bar, like almost like a ladder, if you can picture it, with metal rungs. But the ladder is almost like a dome. It goes up and then it curves towards the middle. And then when you get towards the middle, there's like a pole. So the kids climb up. And then when they get to the top, they got to like climb like this. And they get all the way to the, so to speak, to the top. They get to jump on that pole and then slide all the way down. So my kids get in, they start running around the colony. One of my children jump on this monkey bar and they climb all the way up. And as they turn the thing, they jump on the pole, they go down. Now, once one kid does it, like that's it. It becomes the thing to do. So every kid starts doing it. So my daughter, who was young at the time, lines up next to her siblings and jumps on the monkey bars, so to speak. And she starts climbing. And as she's climbing up, it starts to turn. It's a dome. So she's climbing the thing. And as she turns that corner, she looks down and she sees the floor. And it's like 6 feet, but to a little kid, that's a lot. And she sees that floor and she starts to panic. And she goes, Daddy, 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 Daddy. So I come running in, but she's just a little bit past my grasp. Like she's just holding on too tight. I need her to let go and drop so that I can catch her. And I said, let go, honey, let go, honey. And she's like, Daddy, help me, Daddy, help me. I'm like, I'm here. Just let go. I'm going to catch you. And I'm looking at my daughter who's panicking and I'm watching her head, her face. And she's screaming, Daddy, I need you. And I'm watching her hands. And as she's screaming, Daddy, I need you, and I'm right underneath her, I'm watching her hands grip the bars tighter and tighter and tighter. And it dawns on me that while she wants more than anything in the world just to be saved right now, she's holding on tighter and tighter. Because the hardest thing for her to do right now would be to let go of those bars, even though she knows I'm right underneath her. And her mind can be telling her, that guy's your dad, he's going to take care of you. But her emotions are saying, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go. Do you know why? Because the longest journey in life is between your head and your heart. Your mind can be telling you that guy who's underneath those monkey bars is going to catch you. But if you feel insecure, if you feel dangerous, if you feel like something is not good, you grip and grip and grip. Your natural reaction is to grip. What we are seeing today is one large grip. People feel insecure. People feel a little bit like they're in danger, unsure of what's going on. And the natural reaction when you feel unsure is you grip, you hoard. Will I have food? I don't know. Buy the shelves. Who cares if the lady next to me or the man is harder? That person doesn't live by themselves. What about the person? Just take. I need information. How much? As much as I can get. I know how to keep myself safe, but I need to know what the death toll in Italy is right now and what's going on in the country and who's shutting down the borders. I'm gripping and gripping and gripping and gripping. The natural reaction of a human being is to grip whenever they feel uncertainty. You see that their actions come from their intelligence. Research shows otherwise. Research shows that actually your action comes from your emotions, from your feelings. You act more based on how you feel than what you think you know is true. And while my daughter knew 100% that her dad is standing right next to her and all she's got to do is let go and I'll catch her, her emotions were saying, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. So she's gripping and gripping and gripping and gripping. You know, there's two types of belief in Hashem. There's something called Emunah, in which you believe that Hashem exists. You believe that there's a God in this world. Most people believe that there's a God in this world. It's hard not to look around, especially now, and ask yourself, how could there not be a divine source making all of this work? One little thing that our bodies can't digest and the entire world is shutting down. Do you know how many thousands and millions of germs and temperature? Everything has to work perfectly. And where did the world come from? And you look at the most people and they know in their minds there's a God. They have another type called bitachon. Bitachon is something a little bit different. Bitachon isn't in your intelligence. Feeling. Asking me, don't worry, I'm your dad. I brought you to this world. There's a million things going on in your body right now for you to be breathing. There are more miracles that took place before 10 o'clock a.m. than saving you from the crisis that you're in right now. You got to trust me. Don't just know it here that I exist. You got to know that I'm in your life. You got to know that I'm in your world. You got to know that I'm right with you. In Hebrew, modern Hebrew, bitachon is security. If you're walking down an alleyway alone, you feel insecure. You grip. You can almost feel your hands tensing up. If you look to your right and there are two big Sayeret Matkal security guards, you feel at peace. When you're walking through life, you may know that God exists, but if you're walking through life and you get a little insecurity, if you don't believe that the creator of humanity, your dad, is right by your side, you don't feel secure. You don't have that level of bitachon. Actions take place from the feeling, not just from what's going on in your mind. You know, the whole story of Egypt is an amazing story. We're going to sit around and we're going to tell the story in a couple of weeks with God's help. And the kid's going to say, Mommy and Daddy, how come God made all the makos? Why did God bring all the plagues? And we're going to say, well, Hashem wanted to take us out of Egypt, but that's not really true. You think Hashem needed plagues to take the Jews out of Egypt? Really? You think Hashem needed to convince Paro, he needed to go round by round, as if Hashem's like, please, Pyro, can you please? And Pyro's like, no. He's like, okay, fine, blood. Can I now? No. Okay, fine, frogs. You think Hashem needed Pyro's permission? If God wanted to take the Jews out of Egypt, he could have told Moshe, hey, Moshe, here's the deal. 2:00 on Tuesday, the lights are shutting out. He could have just shut the lights out. We could have been having shawarmas on Ben Yehuda before the lights go back on. Right? He could have put it in Pyro's mind to get the Jews out. God could have taken us out in a million easier ways than 10 plagues. plagues weren't to take the Jews out of Egypt. Plagues were to show the entire world who God is. God wasn't saving us, he was using us. He always uses us. We're the nation that's supposed to be able to show the world what it's like to have God in this world. And when Moses and Aaron came down to meet Pharaoh for the first time, they said, God said, let our people go. And Pharaoh didn't say no. He said, who is God? And the 10 plagues were actually designed to show the world who God is. And specifically, one of those core lessons are, L'man tedah, so that you will know, Ki ani Hashem, because I am God, B'kerev haaretz. I am God in the midst of the land. I am here. That's why if you notice, the plagues have a very unique property in which God is always slicing details. The beasts go into this house, not that house. These cattle die, not those cattle die. It's darkness in this house, not that house. The firstborn died, not the secondborn died. God is always slicing details because he's showing the entire world and the Jewish people. I don't just exist. I'm in the world. B'kerev haaretz. That's why in the Haggadah we say, God took us out. Ani v'lo malach. Ani v'lo shaliach. God, we specifically say, God himself came down to Egypt to take us out. Why do we say that? We don't say that by Hanukkah. We don't say that by anything else, because Mitzrayim is not just a place. Mitzrayim is a metaphor for life. Mitzrayim is Meitzar. It's constraints. It's moments of insecurity. It's moments of fear. And for eternity, God is setting the example for us to remember forever. Whenever you're in a Meitzar, whenever you're in Tsar, whenever you're in a moment of constraint, you need to understand what happened. I came down, me. I don't just live up in the sky. I don't just live up in the heavens. I'm your dad. I got into the dirt. I'm underneath the monkey bar. I came all the way down because I took you out. I wasn't ordering someone else to do it. You're my kid. I'm not letting somebody else run to the monkey bars. When my kid starts to scream, no, I don't care what's going on. Dad runs over. That's why God's first statement to the Jewish people, the way he introduces himself, his calling card, his business card, it's not, I am God who created the world. Look how fancy my mountains are. Look how awesome my stars are. Look how I made all the planets go. Look at how I managed to create the temperatures on this world, a little bit hot, a little bit colder. You would have frozen or burnt to death. I'm not impressing you with this world. Let me tell you how I want you to know me, Hashem says. Ani Hashem, Elokecha asher hotzicha mi'Mitzrayim. I'm your dad. I took you out. I'm not too big for that. I'm not too fancy to take my own people in the depths of this world. And I need you to know that forever and ever. That's what I'm most proud of. I was once sitting in a board meeting at a big company. I'll never forget this. And everyone was around this huge table. And we were doing some deal. And every person was introducing themselves. It's like everyone got a fancier title. I'm the managing director of this. I'm the vice president of this. I'm the EVP of this. I'm the head lawyer, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's going around the table. At the head of the table is this older man who started the company. He's worth at least $1 billion. He started the company that everybody is talking about buying and selling. He's the most impressive man in the entire room by far. I'll never forget this. We're going around the table, EVP, MVP, everyone's walking around impressing each other. They get to the head of the table and he goes, my name is so-and-so. He goes, I'm a dad, I'm a grandfather, and I'm a great-grandfather. And that was it. He's looking around and going, I know you guys are also impressed with how much money and how impressive you are. At the end of my life, you know what I realized all the way? You know what the best title that I could put for myself is? My best title is, I'm a dad, I'm a grandfather, my great-grandfather. There's some people in this world, not 1 million, that'll know that I'll be there for them for no matter what it is. Hashem looks at us and says, you want to know who I am to you? I know it's impressive. You want to know what's more impressive? That I care about you so much, I went down to Egypt. I'm underneath those monkey bars. And that's the challenge and the power of our lives. The challenge of our life right now is to be able to not just know that God exists, but to actually feel him right underneath us. Tachon, to feel it. It's in our emotions. It's in our heart. That's what we say every day when we say Aleinu ve'yadata hayom, and it's in our minds. But you got to bring it into our hearts. Now, why is it so critical for? There's a great sefer named the Leshem. The Leshem quotes in Tehillim. He quotes the following line. Listen to this line. I'll say it in Hebrew and I'll translate it. It says, Rabim mach ovim l'rasha. There's a lot of pain and agony for a rasha. But someone who poteach, who believes in Hashem boteach, the words he's using is that security. Chesed isovenu. Chesed, kindness surrounds him. He quotes the Medrash Tehillim in the Yalkut Shmoni, who says the following. Listen to this. The Leshem says as follows. One of the great mistakes we make is that we think that God is only taking care of the righteous. Of course, we've got to do tshuva. Of course, we've got to get close to Hashem. Of course, anytime you're in a moment like this, you have to introspect into your lives. But we make the mistake in thinking that the way God looks at this world is he only takes care of the righteous. But the Leshem says, Rabim machovim larashi. You want to know why the wicked are in pain? You know why? Because they don't know that haboteach b'Hashem chesed. They don't understand the secret. That even if you're not perfect, that even if you don't do everything right, that even if you're showing up to the party now, and whereas for months you're nowhere, and all of a sudden now you're finally stopping and going, oh my gosh, I've been turning to doctors and to the world, and I thought I was in control of my life. I thought I was in control of my money, and I thought I was in control, and I'm not in control anymore. There's a God in this world. I'm just showing up now. It's too late. Even if you're showing up right now, haboteach b'Hashem, the Leshem is teaching us that if you have true bitachon, if you work on the bitachon feeling of security that Hashem is with you, that work will draw kindness to you from Hashem. But for that feeling, you wouldn't have gotten it. As the Baal Shem Tov says, Hashem tzilcha yad yaminecha. God is like the shade to your right hand. Just like you go outside and the shade is dependent on the person's movements, God's protection, God's kindness is reflective of man's security. When me and you can be practicing kindness of Hashem that may not have otherwise been available just for the fact that we are relying on Him. If we grip those monkey bars tighter, we won't be able to feel the full benefit of being in our Father's arms just because we can't let go. Just because we can't say, you know what? I've been relying on my world and my life my whole life. And you know what I've learned from this thing? Not to hoard more. Gotta let go and drop. Boteach b'Hashem. If I work on my bitachon for Hashem, that reflection, what God will do for me is He will add more protection, more chesed yisovenu. The more I increase my simcha, my joy, the more I increase my feelings of bitachon, the more I get more of God around me. So how do we do this? I'll end. I'm going to give you 4 quick steps. If you do these 4 steps every day, I am sure. First of all, as a side note, one of the most powerful prayers to say every day as a side is Pitum HaKtoras. If you haven't said it before, take it, say it every day, 3 times ideally. It is the most powerful tool you can, just so you know. For the Sephardim, you know what I'm talking about. Those already daven Sephardim. If everyone does it, it's a protection in itself. I'm going to give you 4 steps on how to increase your bitachon today. Number 1, you got to want it. You got to want it. You can't like it. It's not a preference. It's not what flavor ice cream. It's not, I hope I can. You've got to get to a place in your heart where you say, Hashem, I want to have this level of feeling to you. I want more than anything in the world to feel that you're underneath those bars. I want to let go. Help me. 1, you got to want it. And you can build that. You can build desire by just stopping for a minute and focusing on it. Number 2, you got to ask Hashem for help. Hashem, help me. You control what's even in my mind and my heart. Number 3, the last 2 things I'm going to give you are tactics used by the Navy SEALs. Some of the most powerful techniques that are used by the most pressured individuals on the planet. Before the Navy SEALs go into any level of battle, they do 2 things with the SEALs. Number 1 is they have what they call visualization. I've seen this also in the works of the Pia Zetzner. Visualization means there are moments before you're in battle. And what the SEALs do is they sit in quiet rooms before battle and they picture themselves in the battle and they picture themselves going through the battle and being calm and being brave. And when they get to that battle, their brains are already primed to feel braver and calmer than they would have otherwise. Before you go to sleep every night, take 2 minutes and close your eyes and picture the next day. And picture you walking through your day. For many people, it'll be in the very same environment you were in the day before. But picture it with faith, with bitachon. Picture Hashem like the Anan HaKavod around you. Picture being in Hashem's arms. Picture the feeling of getting news and responding calmly with security. Picture what it must feel like, even if it's only in your mind's eye at the end of the day. Because the more you visualize it, the more the next day you'll get it. And the last thing, and this is a thing, when they send the Navy SEALs out to battle, they have them do what's called self-talk. They'll be in battle. They'll be nervous and they'll go, I'm brave, I can. Because words have a very powerful trigger for your mind through neuroplasticity. If you feel like you're scared, look up and say to Hashem, I trust you. Put out your arms, I trust you. You say it again and again and again and again. If you got to say it 100 times, I trust you. Your words, Ha'emanti ki adaber, we say. I believe because I speak. And I say it again and again and again. You know, it took a little bit, but my daughter let go of those bars and she fell into my hands. Not only did she feel happier, I couldn't have been closer to her. But you know what happened? The next kid came up on the bars and so more fun it was to fall into daddy's arms than to slide down the pole. So then he fell into my arms. And then I had each one of my kids, you know this already, I do this with my kids for those who for the speeches for Rosh Hashanah. And then I had each one of my kids climb those bars, go halfway up and fall backwards into daddy's arms. Because there are a few better feelings you have than falling back into the arms of the person who loves you and that can hold you and take care of you. My bracha is that when we train ourselves now to fall into God's arms, and we use corona is the word that we use for crown, which is Hashem's crown. When we use corona to use the muscles of bitachon and we practice now what it means to fall into God's arms, my bracha is that we should wake up in the morning and realize that living this way is so much better. So that when corona ends, and it should soon, we come back into this world and go, I don't want to go down the pole myself. I want to use my best to work on. I'm going to do a shtadlos. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to do what the doctors say, of course. Every morning and every night, I'm going to make sure I fall back in God's hands. And with that, if Hashem sees us falling back into his hands enough, maybe he finally sees that my people get it. I'm the only one that can take them. And I took you out of Mitzrayim, and watch what I have next. We should be zocher to see the time where Hashem starts to save us, not just from Mitzrayim, but from Mitzrayim in all of our lives. And for all that we're going through, to see a time where he doesn't walk us out to the desert. He walks us to Yerushalayim HaBenuya. May we see those days soon. B'mehera b'yameinu. Amen.
A few months ago, I was blessed to be in a live shir by Charlie in the old city of Yerushalayim. Looking around the room, I know that there were tears in my eyes, and I looked around. I don't think there was a dry eye in the entire room. What's so powerful for me getting started with this virtual event through Chizuk, faith, ultimately action, is that I had tears in my eyes while Charlie was talking. And I want to encourage you. Be comfortable, whoever's around you or not around you. We're on video. It's the best that we could do now. I wish we could be in person. We can't. Feel comfortable. Open yourselves up. Allow those tears to come. Take a pen Take notes. I've been taking notes. Let's try to make this real. Let's try to make this practical. Let's take lessons that can truly be mechazik us, to strengthen us in unprecedented ways. The next speaker is certainly going to help us do that. Rav Moshe Weinberger is the founding rabbi of Eish Kodesh in the Five Towns. He is, in addition to being a mashpia at Yeshiva University and certainly being a Rav of mine, even though he may not know it, and so many of us on this webinar, Rav Moshe's brought Chasidus to the masses in practical, palatable ways. And on behalf of all of us, we're so excited to hear your inspiring words. Rav Weinberger.
Thank you, Mom. I was really enjoying Charlie, and I was getting so much chizuk. But I can just walk a couple of blocks, and Charlie and I can get together, I guess 6 feet apart, 7 feet apart. I wish I was able to talk to each one of you personally, to share with you my thoughts, my feelings. Just a couple of words